Food security. For most of us, the image that comes to mind when we think of feeding the world is of undernutrition, of hunger, of starvation. And this image is certainly valid because there are roughly 800 million people around the world who are chronically undernourished. And we know that less than just shy of 50% of deaths in children under age 5 are related to undernutrition. At the same time that health organizations are struggling with issues of undernutrition, however, rates of illness related to overnutrition are also soaring. The overweight and the undernourished both suffer from malnutrition, and they experience high levels of sickness and disability. They experience shorter life expectancies, and they have reduced levels of productivity. These two faces of malnutrition, so undernutrition and overnutrition, complicate our global discussion and goals in solving the problems of malnutrition worldwide. Undernutrition typically gets the spotlight when we start talking about malnutrition, and that's because as our global population climbs and climbs and climbs, we wonder whether or not we're going to be able to feed all of those mouths on the planet. And so we really look at the issue or focus on the issue of food shortages. We've been lucky because we've more or less averted food shortages thus far, or big global food shortages, because of production and global distribution. However, the number of hungry people in the world exceeds the population of the United States alone. So not only of the United States, but of Canada and the European Union all combined. So there is an enormous amount of hungry people on this planet. Couple that with the millions of people who have access to food yet continue to struggle to find safe, clean, healthy options due to either a lack of access or class restrictions, and we have a legitimate global health crisis on our hands. In America, we have a high access to food, but we don't necessarily have a very high access to nutritional food. So when we think about people who come from low income, they can drive through McDonald's and get a McDonald's sandwich for $1. But that is providing not any nutritional density to their diet. They can't go to the grocery store and buy a piece of fruit for $1 or a vegetable for $1 that's going to make them feel full and give them the nutrition that we need. So by mass producing food, and by taking the nutrients out of it, we kind of talked about that when we talked about refined fibers way back when, the beginning of this course, is we've done a great job of making a lot of food, but we've done a really bad job of making a lot of nutritious food. And by making that nutritious food accessible to those in low economic situations. So really going forward, the question is, how do we feed the world? How do we provide enough food? But not just enough food, how do we provide enough nutritional food so that people are getting the nutrients that they need regardless of what their economic status is?